presidential war powers, then solvency, then journalism. No, solvency. No, yeah. Okay, wait, let me repeat my order. Terrorism, presidential war powers, journalism, solvency, constitutional privacy, and tech leadership.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so terror, war powers, solvency, journalism, privacy, tech leadership.
Journalism before solvency.
Okay.
Privacy.
Oh, yeah.
Journalism then solvency, right?
Yeah. All right.
And then privacy, then tech leadership. They said that the risk of terrorism is the highest now. However, there is no risk of terrorism, and their Carolina evidence states has no evidence saying that what attacks have actually happened in the past 10 years. Also, they said reducing surveillance causes attacks. However, targeted solves as well. There's no proof that metadata only solves for terrorism. They said that strong NSA intelligence is critical to prevent WMD. Again, targeted solves better than metadata. They said nuclear terror leads to a U.S.-Russian war. However, that is not probable because both countries are civilized and the country's allies will act as buffers. There's no chance of a war happening. No imminent terror threat. Every dire warning has proven wrong. The government is 0 for 40, 10-15. In the lead up to July 4th, it was almost impossible to miss the coverage, blaring warnings when nothing happened, as has been the case literally every time the government has issued these warnings in the past. There was no apparent self-reflection. Authorities acknowledge that they have no credible or specific information that any attacks will occur. No major news stories mentioned that the U.S. government had issued similar to terrorism warnings that generated alarming headlines at least 40 times since 9/11. All 40 times, nothing happened. Their link is not unique. The USA Freedom Act curtailed surveillance in June. If the link were true, that would have triggered terrorist attacks. Data overload. Mass surveillance causes terrorism. Data mining overloads systems and trades off with effective strategies. Shiner 15. 3 critical issues make data mining an inappropriate tool for finding terrorists. First and most important is error rates. But finding terrorists require a much higher degree of accuracy than data mining systems can possibly provide. Also, if you keep all the data in one place, it makes our country more susceptible to terrorism. No encryption link. Strong encryption doesn't foster terrorism. Shiner 15. Encryption protects us from terrorists, criminals, foreign intelligence, and every other threat on the internet, and against our data and communications. Encryption protects critical national infrastructure. The bad guys trip themselves up in so many other ways that allowing them to access to automobiles, telephones, late-night restaurants, and encryption isn't enough to make them successful. Harming the overwhelming number of honest people in society to try to harm the few bad people is a dumb trade-off. Moving on to the presidential war powers, they said that the presidential war powers are strong. However, the president does not have an unlimited power. We are a democracy, so the citizens control the government. They said that the plan is a crushing blow to presidential war powers. However, the president, it's not moral for the president to look at every ordinary citizen's lives to get information if it's not helping anything. No inherent surveillance power. Congress has this constitutional authority to limit domestic surveillance powers. Carpenter 6. The president's top priority must be to defend the country against attack, but he does not have limitless constitutional power to do so. The president's powers over security are shared and blended with other branches. The president has expansive powers under the Constitution and under the AUMF to fight the country's foreign enemies. More than 2 centuries ago, this nation rejected the principle that one person could run the country, even for very good reasons, in favor of a more cooperative and democratic approach. Reject John Yoo. He's a war criminal, not an expert. Exclude him completely from public discourse. USEN 15. You almost single-handedly shredded the Constitution, to say nothing of what he helped to do America's moral standing in the world. You is taking advantage of the consequence, free world of the rich and politically connected. His fellow Iraq war criminals can all still be seen in the news being regularly solicited from their commentary. Link not unique. The USA Freedom Act reduced the president's authority to conduct domestic surveillance. Moving on. Actually, no. Tyranny. Use theory of unchecked presidential war powers causes tyranny. Shiner 15. In defending secret spying, Bush said he relied on constitutional powers. The rationale was written by you. It's a terrifying piece of legal control contortionism, but it basically says that the president has unlimited power to fight terrorism. He can spy on anyone, arrest anyone, and kidnap anyone and ship him to another country, merely on the suspicion that he might be a terrorist. And according to the memo, this power lasts until there is no more terrorism in the world, which will not happen. There's no more terrorism in the world. According to the U memo, the president can define war however he chooses and remain at war for as long as he chooses. This is infinite dictatorial power. Laws are what gives us security against the actions of the majority and powerful. If we discard our constitutional protections against tyranny in an attempt to protect us from terrorism, we're all less safe as a result. Moving on to the solvency. They dropped our solvency, so they dropped that we can solve the plan, and they dropped the solvency, so we can solve for the advantages and for the advantages. Okay, Constitution. No wait, there wasn't. Okay, they said that the impact is minimal and not chilling. However, our impact is widespread suffering. Journalists give people a voice and raise awareness. They guide movements against racism, classism, etc. by raising awareness through their articles. They mention all causes. Okay. Okay, they said all causes. Okay, they said all causes. Surveillance is particularly important for journalists covering national security, foreign affairs, and federal government. Look at my all 15. More than 4 in 10 national government foreign affairs journalists rank surveillance as #1 or #2 challenge, and 1/3 worry about losing a story to a competitor with more advanced digital security protocols in place. They said encryption solves. If encryption solves, that means that the NSA doesn't work anyways, and we should just get rid of it. Moving on to constitutional privacy. They said it's not unconstitutional, that the NSA is not unconstitutional. However, it is doing unwarranted searches of all the people in the United States. That is unconstitutional and it violates the First and Fourth Amendments. They said privacy is already dead. However, they said it died with the information age. However, metadata is not just the internet. It is our phone bills, our billing records, our bank statements, etc. Privacy did not just die with the information age. We have the inherent right to privacy. They said there's no impact to privacy and security outweighs privacy. However, privacy outweighs because it is value to life. Nothing will matter if we don't have a reason to live. We will have, if we have no reason to live, then it doesn't matter about terrorism or terrorism doesn't matter. Privacy outweighs terrorism. They said that if we have nothing to hide, we have nothing to worry about. However, that is still invading privacy. If we have, even if we have nothing to hide, Snowden's revelations prove that people care about their privacy. Moving on to tech leadership. They say alternate causality STEM. There is no STEM shortage. Consensus of studies. Camerata 14. The idea that we need to allow more workers with STEM is an article of faith among American businesses and political elite. Center for Immigration Studies analyzed the latest government data and find the country has well more than twice as many workers within STEM degrees as there are STEM jobs since at least 1990. They said no competitiveness impact. However, this evidence is from 1994. Times have changed. They said no impact, but the impact is economic decline. Economic decline will lead to stability, which does lead to war. This has happened in the past. They said status quo solves with the Freedom Act. However, the Freedom Act was used to fix the Patriot Act, but the NSA still found loopholes through the Freedom Act. Yeah.
And who is ISIS?
Okay, but ISIS may be there, but the United States military intelligence is so big, we don't need metadata. What I said is that we can use targeted surveillance, which works better than metadata, because metadata is just general information.
But no, you said there's no risk of terror, so there is a risk of terrorism.
No, there's no risk of terrorism on U.S. soil. It's not happened for 10 years, and it's not going to happen now.
You just said there was a risk of terrorism.
No, I said there's not.
But you said, but what about the Garland shooting? That was a terrorist attack.
The underwear.
But
bottom,
did metadata
the
help
bottom,
it?
the
No,
box,
there's
the
no-
box.
But typically, surveillance is not doing anything.
I can
about it.
bring
They're
it
not
up.
able to actually help.
You did
But
not
you're
just say that
counting
going surveillance
things.
isn't helping. You said that there's no risk of terrorism right now, which is incorrect.
Okay, but what's your question?
So did you get it incorrect? There is a risk of terrorism?
I said there's no imminent threat, 1015.
Then you answered your question. Okay, thank you.
It said that it's just a gross exaggeration.
Okay. Why does it matter if the government has our billing records?
Because it matters, because people don't want their privacy to be invaded. It is not fair for people to have their privacy invaded. That leads to decreased value to life.
Okay, if we buy something from the store, they know what we bought from the store, right?
Yes.
So they have a record of us, so I mean.
Yes,
that
that's what
invaded
I'm
our
saying.
privacy.
It's decreasing our value to life because it's invading our privacy.
But the companies also have a record.
And also you said that, like, you know, if nothing matters, we have no reason to live. How is just having some surveillance on us that, like, we're still allowed to do anything we want? They can't come and arrest us unless we do something illegal. So why does it matter?
No,
if
that's
we have
not
surveillance that we have?
because it's decreasing value to life and our
So
constitutional privacy
then doesn't mean
advantage.
we have nothing to live for? You're acting like, oh no, so you're saying oh no, they're watching us, so we're just
It's not just
all
watching,
alive.
they're tracking
a lot of
us.
impact on our lives right now. Like
It does. What impact does it have on your life personally at the moment?
It's in our Code 7 evidence. No, wait, sorry. It's in our it's in our Code 7 evidence, which states that constitutional rights like privacy cannot be outweighed. They decrease the value to life.
What decreases the value of life?
Rights like privacy being
Privacy-
taken away.
Rights
Being
like
taken.
privacy decrease the value of
No,
life?
being taken away. Rights like privacy being taken away. Yeah. Our privacy is being taken away through the NSA. The NSA is doing unwarranted searches of
And they're not even helping with anything, so I don't see.
Wait, is the NSA like are you saying that people are going through?
Okay,
all of that?
Snowden's revelations prove that people do not like their privacy being invaded.
He doesn't. Does everybody not?
No,
does
Snowden,
everybody?
that's what I'm saying. People had a massive uproar to it.
Okay, so they had a massive uproar. Okay. And also, you said that you don't like the president going through your files, right? Like you said, the president is the
Time,
going.
so.
Okay.